choices and everything. As long as you take God with you, you will succeed just as much as you did to get this graduation.
Is there anybody that's not crying yet?
I suppose I don't look like it. Then I probably will. Heidi, you've given us a lot of things to remember. I don't know how old or how young you were when we first heard you sing. You weren't very old. But I do remember you coming to visit us, and even if it were on a Wednesday night when everybody knows you don't usually have special singing, Heidi would say, "Grandpa, can I sing a song tonight?" Even when she couldn't hardly quite sing, you know. I mean, I think the tune was always there, and she, for a while, you know, so she could talk, she could and say the words, but she always had such a desire to sing. And we've seen her just do that so beautifully so many times. And then with Stephanie, the times when Heidi would come over to visit, and they were just scheming to see, you know, find a time when they could both come to my house at the same time. Not to see me, but to see each other. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things we can remember, but Heidi, you made us so proud. I'll never forget the day that you told me I got high honors this quarter. As I scanned the papers, I thought they would never hit the paper. It just seemed so long, and you'd read Trinity, and you'd read Memorial, and West and Central will be in when we get them, you know. It just seems that went on and on and on, and finally the day came, and I saw that, and I was so proud to see her name in that high honors list. And I know that you can do whatever you set out to do, with God's help especially. And if you will be as persistent with the things that you want as you used to be trying to get to sing when you came to visit us. And sometimes I couldn't even really play for her. She probably would have done better if she'd sung it without any music. But how she loved to sing, and I know that you always will. May God bless you and go with you. We love you, Heidi.
Reminds me all the times that Heidi and Stephanie. I thought you were going to say scheme on Laura. I mean, I never would have thought after when she first moved here that we would come this close. Her and her brother and Stephanie, all three of them, both. Alone, each one of them could be the greatest role model, but when they got together, there was no hope for me. But I think I still have to cut the doll that pulled some of the hair out. Never did get back the money that she stole for the Doritos. The tricycle that she broke the wheel off, you know. But I got them back too. So I used to tell Grammy and all the little things to say how you do.
I've heard a lot of things that reminded me of a story that I heard a long time ago that I've used a few times. You've probably heard it already, but it'll be repeated. There was a pastor one day that went to visit one of the fellows that came to his church. And he was a farmer. It was in the fall of the year, at the end of summer, beginning of fall, when the harvest starts to take place. And so the pastor, he looked at the farmer and he said, you know, he said, God has really blessed you with a great crop. And the farmer said, yes. The pastor repeated it a couple of times. And God's really blessed you with a great crop. And finally the farmer looked at the pastor and he said, yes, Pastor, that's true. But you should have seen this field when God had it all by himself. And so with all the talk about, you know, not deserving the credit, God doesn't do much for us without our help. Central High School is how many students is Central? See, I used to be a student at Central High School.
Old school.
It was back in 63,
1800s.
back when there was a drugstore.
1865 or 19?
How did Moses cross the Red Sea?
As I was driving over here tonight, we were driving
I
up
got them
Elm
back for you,
Street,
Dad.
and I saw a fellow sitting on a bench that looked like he maybe was homeless. If that's what you want to be, that's what God wants you to be. My point is this. We can talk about giving God the credit, but if we do nothing, we will be nothing. A person can choose to be homeless. That's got nothing to do with God. God has put in that person the ability that they've chosen not to use. Heidi, you've chosen to use the ability. Graduation from high school is a great landmark in any young person's life. And it's to be celebrated. It's not the end, it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
You're on to real life. But God's not going to do it all by himself. You get to work with God.
Like everybody says. Not everybody.
I'll speak for myself first. I just have really admired you, Heidi, your dedication to God, your faithfulness, and the example that you have been through high school. You're an example that, though you may face some challenges, if you will let God lead you, he will bring you through them. And there's nothing that we can't go through and remain faithful to God if we'll let him help us. If we have a hard time, then it's probably because we're really not depending on him like we should. But you have been a good example of the fact that you can make it. And I've admired the way that you have let God use the talent that he's given you in music. And I want to thank you for letting me do a little part of it from time to time, and I hope you continue to do that. I really enjoy listening to the songs that you've written. Anytime you want to come down to the house and show me another one and, you know, sing it for me, I just love that.
Just let me know before you get
Keep doing that. Don't you can hide. Stephanie's not here tonight, but if she was, I'm sure she would have a lot to say, because you've been a big influence in her life, and I want to thank you for that as her mother. As parents, we sometimes can be a little concerned about who our kids spend time with. And I can honestly say, whenever Stephanie wanted to get together with you, I felt totally at ease. There were times when I didn't know for sure what you were going to be doing, and I find out afterwards that you spent the night together, but you were up all night praying, or just talking about things that, you know, just encouraging each other spiritually. There were a number of times to do that, and of course, spending time singing and, you know, with music, there was a lot of that. But I could always be sure that you were a good influence on her, and that it was good for you to be together. And I really appreciate the relationship that you have with her and what you've done to encourage her to be what she's become. Just admire you for that, and love you, and thank you.
All right, it started giggling. Get out of giggling, we'll never get her stopped.
Hey, Miss Dan, thanks for coming. you.
See you tomorrow.
Picture of you near the cake. The cake was made by her Grammy Chandler. Very beautiful. And we'll get a picture of you, and then we'll get a picture of Grammy Chandler.
Way to go. Look down,
No more ice. Mama, there's no more ice, it's water.